Ba-ding a ding ding, ba-ding a ding ding. Throw money in the air, could ding a ching ching. Cause we don't really care, I ting a ting ting. Ba-ding a ding ding, ba-ding a ding ding. Cold as ice, ba-ling a ling ling. Ba-ding a ding ding, ba-ding a ding ding. Throw money in the air, could ding a ching.
EG lose everything.
The Hurricane Pike Rupture! Absolute destruction coming out from Liquid. Solo, beautiful feed grip onto Mugi. Rampage for no one. GG is called.
Well, we gave the players a break. Gave ourselves a little break after our first game, which only took about 80 minutes of non-stop fighting back and forth. And if the rest of the series goes the same way, we are in for an amazing day of Dota 2. Lacoste, Spirit against Espada.
This was really one entertaining game. I think Espada did some mental damage to Team Spirit, even though we gave them a full 10+ minutes of a break so they can reset, think what went wrong. Bounty Hunter is banned out. No surprise there. Immersion just loves to play that hero, and he's basically the only guy who plays Bounty Hunter right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe Miracle on Team Liquid when Kuroki wants to play carry, but apart from that, it really is all about immersion, but completely different drafts, different strategies coming out. This time around after the break, IO Weaver for Team Spirit and Tiny Silencer for Espada. Seeing as Phoenix and Wraith King, like you said, both banned out, a bit of a respect bans from both of these sides.
I love Silencer as a counter to both IO and Weaver. If you play Weaver against the Silencer, it's always annoying because you want to spam out your spells. If you have Arcane Curse on, you can't really do it. Also, with the Global, you can easily just counter the relocate plays. They go in, you use Global, and you just kill them.
Especially that damage over time, right? If you want to like salve or earn yourself and you've got that Arcane Curse on you. Gap close and damage over time. Super good against the IO. Tiny offers you a nice amount of burst damage as well. Jump in on the IO or the Weaver. Get all of your combo out on them, and they are both very, very squishy. So I do like the response here from Espada.
Espada betting out Ogre. Ogre, as you mentioned, good overtime damage against the IO. So it means that it's also really nice with the Tiny, so I'm surprised that they banned it out. Also, they played 3 heroes, 3 games yesterday with Ogre Magi.
Yeah, I was wondering, did they think they were picking there? Like accidentally ban the Ogre?
Could be. Also, another gap closer banned out. IO does not like heroes that get on top of him.
And Weaver doesn't like having all his mana burnt either. PL offers a few problems there. So Weaver IO, both heroes, you know, when you open with this, it feels like you're trying to head down that kind of lane domination, try and get early advantage with that sustain from IO. Don't know if they're going to be partnered up together. Tether and Shikuchi is pretty nice, but I do like that Gyro ban. IO Gyro, you were talking about it yesterday. Doesn't really feel like Gyro has a place without IO.
Exactly. It just doesn't feel that he contributes that much to the team fight, can't do what he's supposed to do. With IO as his partner, it changes the whole picture of the hero and how he's played.
10 seconds remaining.
Final ban of this second stage.
5 seconds remaining.
Quite a difficult one. When you've picked up a support without any real disable or teamfight capabilities, you know, you're often scared of your Ember Spirits, your Storms, or Terrorblade. So they're scared of these illusion carries, the PL and the TB. Into their third pick for Spirit. Assuming a Biver IO. And then a position 5 for FNG to come out here somewhere.
They really need to pick a stun right now or some kind of a disable. Maybe not this big, but third or fourth pick, they need to have some kind of a control. Since you have IO, he doesn't provide you with any kind of control.
So usually I'd think of like Bane IO. You can set up for relocates. You've got multiple disables, but you're against a tiny silencer. Like Fiend's Grip's always going to get globaled off. You're not really going to be able to do too much. But does that matter?
It's hard to play against the global certain heroes, like you mentioned, a Bane, but they need to have a lockdown. Okay, that's some lockdown. That could be position 5, position 3, Nyx Assassin. FNG likes to experiment with the heroes, plays really unusual position 5s.
We'll see what they get up to as that.
So maybe that was kind of a counter pick, since they don't have too many disables. Nyx Assassin, one of the better heroes against the Ember Spirit, which looked like a really good pick for Espada against the Weaver, against the IO.
Feels like a good block pick as well, right?
Yeah.
Like Nyx with Carapace against Shikuchi, the hunting capabilities against IO. Not allowing Espada to have it while taking it yourself feels pretty nice for Spirit. How do you deal with a Nyx in lane as well? Because we saw this the other day. I can't remember what the laning partner was, but it may have been like Nyx plus Wraith King. It was like 2 just unkillable heroes with,
2 stout shields.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of HP regen early on. Pretty hard to harass. They have good vision heroes on the side of Team Spirit. Both Weaver, Nyx Assassin, IO Balls, providing a lot of vision in the team fight, which means Espada will need to use a lot of resources into sentries and dusts.
How many more bugs do we have? Weaver, Nyx, Brood.
That's it.
That's it, right? It's just the 3. I was trying to think of a 4th one, but I don't think there is one. Need to continue this theme. Can't just pick Weaver and Nyx together and not think about finishing the set. Treant again for Espada. It feels pretty good.
10 seconds.
No damage over time really here from Team Spirit to burn through the charges, so should be reasonably valuable.
If they want to play Nyx Assassin as position 3, yeah, as you mentioned, some overtime damage. Jakiro feels nice to have against Treant Protector.
Oh, and Liquid Fire against Tiny. Always sounds good. Get rid of what little attack speed he has with Liquid Fire.
I just wanted to say either that or Venomance. Sometimes, Gary, sometimes, overtime damage. Oh, Espada's looking into some early push with the Lycan, but I love the Venomancer pick.
It feels like they knew that was coming. We're talking about damage over time. They know damage over time's coming, and Lycan with so much HP regen and movement speed doesn't care about the slows, doesn't care too much about the damage over time. And he can be a pipe carrier, potentially, here for Espada.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
After finishing Necro Book, seen Lycan so many times just building into pipe.
Do we still see the Helm? Because we were talking the other day about Visage, right? Where Helm has kind of been slotted out of the build. Is it vital here for the Lycan to still get Helm first item, then Necro?
Yeah, for the Lycan, I think it's more than fine. And you have a Treant Protector, kind of to counter and keep people alive through the Venomancer ulti. If you get a pipe on top of that, plus a Lycan, this Lycan's regen over time is just going to be insane.
Final ban time. Espada here, still pretty versatile in where they can put this Tiny. Could be like a Tiny Treant dual lane, could be Tiny mid even.
Yeah, they can lane pretty much whatever they want right now. They can put Lycan on mid, Tiny off lane, safe lane. Everything pretty much open for them.
And that's the worry you have now is Venomancer, how does he lane? Pretty bad base attack damage, doesn't really do too well against melee heroes. Tiny and Lycan with a Quelling Blade just CS everything under his nose. So it feels like Veno kind of has to be in a dual lane with someone, so like Veno Nyx. And you need a different mid hero here for Spirit just to try and get a matchup you can win.
Storm Spirit's still an option. Okay, so they think it's gonna be an offlane hero. One of the betters. B group has 5, you can't do anything. Underlord would fit them well. Is that natural pipe carrier?
And a bit of global response to the IO as well. potential there with the old Uber Lord.
10 seconds remaining.
Espada could get Pugna as well
5 seconds
if
remaining.
they want to run Silencer and Treant Protector as their supports.
Dire team pick.
It's a little scary against Nyx, but it's the tempo, right? It's just the speed at which you play. That Pugna's online, ready to go, while Nyx is like level 4. How do I chase the Pugna? Such a speedy little green skeleton. Okay, Espada, it's time to round up your draft. You've got a bit of push. You've got really, really
10
solid
seconds
lanes
remaining.
that look incredibly difficult to kill. It just feels like they're missing a
5
bit of
seconds remaining.
a bit of nuke damage, you know, a bit of finishing power to take down someone like the Weaver or the
Radiant
Venno early on.
team pick.
Rubik's the final pick, though. Not something that I expected, so Treant will be that position 3 likely for BZZ again.
They want to have that living armor up and running. Rubik, one of the better heroes against the Weaver. Nyx Assassin as well, if you can steal any of his spells. Still think Invoker is going to be a decent pick. But they decide to go for a Shadowfin. That's the nuke damage. So what do they want to lane against the Shadowfin?
Tiny?
Tiny does well against Shadowfiend, harasses him a lot. You have the Treant Protector heal early on. I don't think you can lane Lycan, since Tiny has some range, so it would be better to just lane Tiny.
You can't do the Venno SF cheese strat anymore with wards in the Roshan pit, can you? They changed that a while ago.
I'm not sure.
I feel like in the back of my head is telling me you can't do it anymore. Because I think Roshan 1 hits them, but probably out of the window anyway. 9, if he's against that Tiny, might have some struggles early on, but Espada, Immersion Rubik as that final hero does have a few real tasty things to steal. Shikuchi being one of the prime ones, but even just the Nyx Assassin, any of Nyx's spells, pretty tasty.
Yeah, I was pretty useless. His spells, you need to have Tether to use them. Venomancer is fine. Easy spells to steal. If you steal Ward, that's going to give you even more vision. So vision coming out from Espada, looking really good.
Even more push as well. If Immersion steals wards, they've got Lycan and Plague wards potentially. Oh, I didn't think about that. And also, you know, going back to the golden days, Rubik picked against Nyx because he's got a stun that doesn't do damage. The classic lift and drag back. Rubik against Nyx. So away we go. Game 2 in this best of 3. 9, the level 10 Shadow Fiend with all of his wonderful little gems.
Yeah, also Rubik pick, because of his aura, will mitigate a lot of the magical damage coming out from Shadow Fiend, Venomancer, Nyx Assassin. So that's going to be FNG playing that Nyx Assassin as position 5. We discussed how he likes to play really strange heroes. Other teams don't like to experiment that much with their position 5. Team Spirit known to be that kind of a greedy team.
He's the king, it feels like, of making, you know, position 4s work as position 5s nowadays. Get the most out of these heroes without too much gold. So 9 SF, Biver, Io, Hestager, Rotten on that Weaver, Skitter playing the Venomancer, and like you said, FNG on the Nyx, while Espada have a Misha Silencer. BZZ will be the Treant again. Nyx on the Tiny this time with LTW, a bit more of a early game pushing prowess hero. Last game his PL wasn't really involved for a good 30-40 minutes, but like Skit is saying, in an 80-minute game. Oh, Misha. Ooh.
Whoa!
Mic drop. We'll see.
I gotta say, I love Espada's lineup way more.
Oof. Oof. FNG.
Now Team Spirit has 1 stun. That's it. Nyx Assassin stun. So they're gonna have a hard time controlling this Lycan.
The tables have turned.
He can do whatever he wants. That stun is not gonna hit him because he can just easily dodge it with his 600+ movement speed.
Absolutely.
That's what happens when
It definitely feels like Team Spirit here with the... I don't want to say awkward, but it's definitely more convoluted, a little more finicky draft to kind of execute. And the way that they want. Like you said, lack of stuns is really a key part of all of that. Their team fight doesn't seem that amazing, so really laning stage is key here for Team Spirit, whereas Espada, it's more of just a hit your timing kind of draft. Get your first item up on Tiny, your Lycan should be ready with Helm and maybe Necro 1 by that time. And you start knocking on the doors of these tier 1s, get the gold into the pockets of your supports, which of course helps out tremendously.
I think mid lane will get the warded. Team Spirit was pinging out the ward because they placed the ward earlier, and then they saw Tiny placing it. So that's going to be a huge advantage for a Shadowfiend.
And this is why, you know, like, obviously you make a great point. This is why, you know, 3 or 4 seconds matter. If you're, you know, delayed coming out of Fountain, or if you make a mistake and forget to give your mid tangos, or you don't get that ward down in time, you potentially lose your vision and give gold over to the opponent mid just by being a little bit late. Bottom bounty rune being contested here. 3 heroes from Espada. Immersion and Misha push forward with their Observer World already down. Grab the double bottom, but equally Team Spirit will have the double top, so evens itself out to a 2v2. In terms of bounties anyway.
Alright, they're swapping the lanes. They want to have Venomancer against the Treant. That's why Espada changed it. Put the Treant top. Overtime damage will just remove the living armor. So they're just staying as 3 on the bottom lane. When I say S3, I mean DH, not 3, because 3 on the top.
3, the number that Gaben cannot say. Dual lane middle. Nyx Assassin here to try and balance the scales, as the Tiny obviously with a tremendous right-click advantage over the Shadow Fiend early on. So Immersion joins the fray.
He misses the range creep.
He did get FNG though. Drops him very low, but yeah, look at that. 5 HP regen, not even using a Tango yet. FNG up to 13 a second with that Tango running. And the lane swaps continue. Skitter down bottom up against BZZ, while the remaining 2, Weaver and Io, shift up to top. A great 2-man stun from FNG opens up the range creep CS for 9. And he's hit level 2 now with 7 souls. Things start to get a little easier. Fade Bolt, always going to be obnoxious. There's BZZ with Stout Shield, Leech Seed, sticking around in the creep wave. Living Armor ready now, and that could be a tide turner in one of these other lanes if they could play aggressively into them.
They still didn't devore the mid lane. Like, you can place that's the better side of being the Radiant. You can place this ward on a mid lane from the jungle, and they can't see you.
That tree cover, very nifty indeed.
Yeah, you see Nyx Assassin pinging that ward again. Okay, there's the sentry in the courier.
Give it over to the SF. Get some free money. And there we go with 9. Gets the Tango as well. There we go. Beautiful. Wonderful bit of regen for him. Top lane, we saw the Arcane Curse going to work on Bivra and Hester Joe, but they're not too bothered by it just yet. Well, bottom lane, Immersion has made the rotation down, just following FNG for now, tracing him back. Leaving that mid as a natural 1v1. Nyx taking a raise. There's another mid-range to come, but 9 doesn't have the range. Falls back away from being under that tower. 2-man stun down bottom with a Gale from Skitter. BZZ has Stick and Living Armor. So no follow through.
He's adapting well to this lane. 2 points in living, in Leech Seed instead of Living Armor, just so that he can heal more. Oh.
Trying to go in on Skitter. Immersion with Fade Bolt. Stick charges, baiting. Skitter pops the Fairy Fire. BZZ can't get in range. And Immersion might just be ticking down here. Still has the Gale and the Poison Sting. BZZ, 1 punch denied. Can you get the job done? FNG body blocking here.
What is he waiting for?
Immersion.
Oh.
Going to get the takedown. FNG will lose his life there as First Blood grabbed up by Espada.
Thanks and have fun.
I thought that he was going to use it a little bit earlier. He was just trying to bait Immersion. Getting the First Blood, that's going to be his boots of speed.
So many baits as well in just that, 15 seconds.
Add a couple of sticks charges.
Radiant are scanning.
And a fairy fire for good measure. 9 down bottom. No, sorry, 9 in mid. 19 and 4 against the 16-5 of Tiny. That FNG babysit in the middle lane has really worked wonders.
Oh, double damage.
Do we have a bottle? Yeah, Nyx has a full bottle, so he can throw out a couple of spells here and still get value from that DD. D-ward is nice, as Misha comes in with the sentry.
How's our Lycan doing on top?
Reasonably well.
Yeah, 19 against 19. A lot of region for him. Has headrush. In the base, just needs to bring it. Also, I love how he bought Ring of Protection, just so he can mitigate some right-click damage from both of the heroes. Lycan really low armor early on.
Yeah, he's got like 0 armor at level 1, right? LTW, all on his lonesome top, but getting plenty of experience for his troubles. The DD Nyx unable to really do too much. Nearly looked like he was about to die as well to FNG in this Shadow Fiend of 9. Misha arrives, Nyx stunned. Do we have the razors here for them though? Toss back, the Carapace not doing too much there to mitigate the aggression from Tiny and Silencer, but 9 wants the double raise. There's the living armor though, as Hester Joe makes his way over. Nyx with that DD tree toss. 9 really does feel the pain from it.
What happens if Nyx kills Nyx?
Then I stand up and I leave. That's when you just give up, I think.
Oh,
Nyx
they
kills
saw
Nyx.
that ward.
This one here. Yeah, they've still got a sentry there as well, but look at that. Raise 1, raise 2. Nyx drops low. Living armor again from BZZ comes through. Keeping everyone on the very edge of their seats as we've got some low HP heroes lurking around. But a good old shrine for the dire side. And bring Tiny back.
Radiant's middle tower.
Weaver not really getting a big advantage top. LTW just free farming by all means under his tower, not really struggling at all. We lose FNG bottom.
So this just happened. Do you stand and leave? Stand up and leave, Gary. Nyx killed Nyx assassin.
Yeah, I'm not here anymore. It's all you, buddy. I didn't see it, so it didn't happen. I purposefully missed that kill, so I didn't get it on camera.
Espada's lineup is going to be so hard to kill. Once Lycan gets Howl during the nighttime, just to save people, then you have global living armor.
And this is a nice rotation from Immersion as well. Hester Joe and Biva not expecting the Rubik to be here on top of Misha's Silencer. Weaver will just Shikuchi back through them, but they've got sentries around and ILTW feels very comfortable in this lane. Now that his 2 supports have arrived, Hester Joe tethered up. Aggression from Team Spirit, only for a fraction of a second there as they again realize that they're in a 2v3. While down bottom, BZZ holding his own. 0-2-3 build. Not really under too much pressure here. Skitter with the 2 points in Plague Wards will start to shove this tower now, though. Apply a bit of pressure to the building at the very least. Quick stun from FNG, but the TP from Misha.
He just got level 6.
They've got the roots here, but do they have the damage to finish off Skitter? He's got no wand. He does have tangos. And that will be him keeping himself up and running for the time being anyway.
That was a hard kill to get, even if he was not level 6. He can use Leech Seed on the creeps.
Nyx, are you in trouble? We've got a Fairy Fire for Shadow Fiend. No mana for that second raise, though. Immersion comes in, and they've got a big bad wolf. I hear him huffing and puffing. Misha stunned the 2-man from FNG, beautifully catching onto Immersion in the back, but the Lycan shapeshifter getting body blocked by Nyx. Get out of my way! Team, stop blocking me! FNG is going to get hit by the last word, and ILTW gives up on this chase.
Oh, that's a lot of time wasted from Lycan. Oh, instant tip. Meanwhile, Weaver continues to farm on a top lane. Probably gonna pressure the tower a little bit. Ring of Aquila is ready. Power treads as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's a sad rotation from the Lycan, though. Shapeshift. Chasing and getting blocked and not getting anything from it. Back into the jungle he goes. Top lane, you mentioned the Weaver, free farming and shoving tower. Rubik arrives to try and quell this push. Dodges out from the swarm at least, but with Io arriving, oh, that living armor is going to be good for them. Drag back, immersion, telekinesis has to Joe as Tiny, a long TP, still holding a DD, unable to connect with Weaver.
F&G struggling in this game. Only 90 gold. He's gonna have boots. Not anytime soon. Minute 9. I guess he's gonna be the one who's gonna buy the tome.
Must be. Nyx is chasing in. Biva half HP. A quick toss up on Weaver. Hester Joe. Telekinesis lifted and time lapse back to full. Chasing immersion, but the raindrops pop, keeping him alive at least for now. The swarm with the IO orbs. Too much to handle as the fairy fire keeps Biva alive and healing up now through the salve. Quick and speedy recovery as Biva, tethered up, gets that Shikuchi movement speed. And look at them go. Soul Ring forward, looking for ILTW. They might be able to get him, you know. No shapeshift for 10 seconds. These balls need to land. Damage being dealt, but tiny. Deters the aggression. Toss forward. Biva drops low again. The tree toss. Grabbed and thrown.
When you play against Trian, there's always fear that he's gonna turn things around. That's level 4 living armor right now. Runes spawning. 1, 2, 3. Is it gonna be 4 runes? Okay, not. 3 against 1 this time.
At the very least, Tiny does grab that one, you're right. So Skitter is farming the side camp at the same time as trying to push out this wave. Level 8. Aquila. Extra Wraith Band moving into treads. Interested to see what he decides to go for this game. We've obviously seen every build under the sun for the Veno. A hero that doesn't really require any set item build. It's very much adaptable to the game you're in.
Yeah, Veno's one of the few heroes that you can build whatever you want.
Literally anything.
Maybe not Dagon.
What do you mean not what? You just buy a load of spell amp items and Dagon is very strong.
So Nyx Assassin bought the tome for himself. He's gonna hit level 6 pretty soon, but no boots whatsoever.
Nice overgrowth TP. Trian waves goodbye to the rest of Team Spirit as they relocate in and get nothing. TPing mid, Hester Joe wants Misha here maybe. Silencer. Quick arcane curse, needs to deal with a swarm. Look at how much HP he's losing though. That minus armor starts racking up. Misha though, not gonna get killed, and Hester Joe has to make that retreat back. Shapeshift here from ILTW, looking to get in on top of Hester Joe Rotten, and I think he might be done for. Silenced and a +2 for Misha at long last.
You can't use Shikuchi when you have Arcane Curse on it. He'll just keep rocking and increase the damage. Tiny on the top lane now, getting closer to his Blink Dagger. That's gonna be their timing when they want to pressure the towers. Try to get a kill, push the tower. Like, it's so hard to play where Team Spirit is standing right now. Silencer is level 6, so if you want to try to make an action, there's always the fear of the global plus the living armor. I love how Espada is actually picking the heroes. It's just doing that mental damage. We can't go.
Yeah.
They're gonna use the global, they're gonna use the heal, so they're just trying to farm up as much as they can.
Every single thing Team Spirit has, Espada have a response or an answer or some funny little comeback or an insult back in their face. So many things to deal with what Team Spirit are throwing in, but Team Spirit technically the ones in the lead in terms of net worth anyway.
And now Rubik is level 6. He stole Shikuchi. He can set up gangs really easy.
90 GPM for Veno.
They're gonna have Veno with the GPM. They're gonna have Nyx Assassin.
IO level 20. 150 GPM. That's pretty good. Nyx, 100 until Blink. Would love to have it right now. Still gets the avalanche towards FNG. Sentry gives them the vision for the toss up and the take down.
That's his Blink Dagger. He's low on mana though. He's bringing Clarity Potion to regen up. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Treant Protector just getting some farm, mostly leeching XP. He's gonna be level 10. He's one of the biggest levels in the game. Shadowfin is level 11, while Treant Protector is level 10. And he's gonna have that Meteor Hammer pretty soon, and it's
like
the time where they want to group as 5. They need a couple of more minutes for Lycan to build those Necro Books. They're gonna Group has 5, threaten the towers. This opens up the Roche for them.
Little Alpha Wolfie there. LTW keeping things in the family, or the genus anyway.
Radiant are scanning.
Get those doggies going. Top lane, Spirit, 9 up at the front. Io and Veno both behind him. Just looking to try and pressure this tower, get some gold in the pockets of these Team Spirit supports, especially like you've been saying, FNG with, you know, Boots are here, 14 minutes in, so he eventually gets a bit of movement speed to his name at least, as these Plague Wards are proving to be a little problematic for Nyx. This poor Tiny, not a great way to deal with them until the blink forward. 9 globaled, overgrowth as well as Misha piles the damage in with the help of Nyx, but 9 is alive thanks to Bivera's Io. Quick relocate back home, and they will regen up nicely, potentially to continue this fight, because FNG, Skitter and Hester Joe, this is a 5v4. Team Spirit are set up for Misha. Tries to get as many spells out as he can, and he will land them onto the 2 bugs of FNG and Joe, but BZZ still lurking.
Treant Protector should be careful. Io has a dust.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They won't find him. Quick TP's back. ILTW shoved in towards tier 2. They're trying to deal with it. 9, of course, no real way to stop the Lycan with the shapeshift forward. ILTW realizes that it's not just the SF, but Io is also there.
So 3k gold lead for Team Spirit. This GPM talent from Veno started to kick in a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it. Espada didn't manage to kill Shadowfiend. If they can, they should always try to go for Io. Just snipe him with the Tiny.
Necrobook unit. Oh, easy money for 9. 100 gold towards his Manta.
Also this game, BZZ decided to go for 2 living armor block instances more with his talent, just to keep people alive.
Meteor Hammer at 16 minutes though, that is pretty quick for this Treant. Level 11 up.
Coin for me.
Ready to rock and roll. How's Lycan doing? Necro 1, of course, we've seen the first one pop out, but he's pretty close to Necro 2, all things considered. Has gone for the bootsless build here on Lycan. Not that he needs them, but this Dark Troll with a trap is very handy against Weaver and Io. These elusive heroes just having at least 1 disable, so potentially opening up solo kills here for the Lycan. FNG hunting mid, yeah, gets scouted out. I think he just broke ever so briefly into the edge of that vision from the tower. Things slow down a little bit here now as both teams building up towards that timing. You mentioned the Necro 2, Necro 3 on Lycan, but what's Team Spirit waiting for?
I think Team Spirit wants to play this game for quite some time. They don't have the best building damage. Weaver doesn't feel as scary right now. They have Tiny. I think Tiny can actually blow Weaver up. Love what he has bought. Raindrop, just to keep himself alive so he can't get comboed by a Tiny.
Feels pretty vital. Always a nice sight to see is when players adapt to their scenario. Tiny hiding up top. BZZ walked into a sentry and gets blown up with a triple raise of 9. But yet again, we're in a situation where Espada, well, I guess this time Espada are the ones controlling the map. We saw it from Team Spirit in the last game. But all of the lanes pushed out across the river. Team Spirit kind of scrambling around, TPing around, trying to defend their towers as best as they can, but they're always on the back foot. They're never the ones making the moves. And I think here with this TP, we're going to see a smoke, aren't we?
They want to smoke. Global is up. They want to place wards as well. Silencer has 3 observers. Okay, so this is being pinged out. That sentry is there since Treant died there. Ideally, you want to kill Io.
And this is all this systematic game plan. Immersion moves forward. Shikuchi in onto 9. Shadowfiend dragged back. Can they kill him in time? The Io keeps that tether going. 9 stays alive for now. 1 more hit is all it'll take for ILTW to rip him to shreds. The global finally arrives and Biver will fall immediately after. Veno can't cast any spells this fight. And might just look towards BZZ. The overgrowth into Meteor Hammer. Tossed back into the Lycan, but it opens it up to a big Poison Nova onto 5 here from Skitzer. Keeps himself up and running, but the IO tether broken now. Nyx Assassin moving forward with the Weaver, trying to get on top of BZZ, but Misha earned up. With the Poison Nova on him, should tick down before he TP's home, so a good kill grab in the back as BZZ chased down between the trees.
They have no stuns. Also, that's a buyback from Biver, and they took down 2 cores, losing just support and an offlane. So, pretty good trade for Espada.
And again, it's one of those kind of systematic things. It was very obvious from us in our nice little box seats up at the top. Bird's eye view. They pushed out top, pushed out bot, pushed out mid. Then they TP back towards their shrine and they smoke. And it was all very swift and smooth, and they delivered it beautifully. Team Spirit just didn't. They don't have a. You know, you talked about the responses that Espada have. But Team Spirit doesn't feel like they have any.
They have no stuns. They're going into Roche Pit, trying to make something happen. I'm not sure that's gonna be enough. They're using the scan, so Espada should know something is up. Either Roche or a smoke gang. Okay, he plays the war, so they know that they're actually trying to do Roche. Necro 3 finished on Lycan.
Tiny Shadow Blade in 8 seconds. Oh, hello. This is an FNG move if I've ever seen one. Smoke to wrap around onto Roshan itself. Espada have taken the southern high ground. Skitzer spots Nyx. The Tiny has been seen. Radiant's Courier has died off to the west because Nyx now blinks in very aggressively on top of 2. FNG blown up and Skitzer pops out his spells. 9's Requiem not doing a damn thing. He is shredded by the Lycan Familiars, but they've got Biver tethering up and healing 9. ILTW sprinting around. He's got his Necro Book on top of SF. But can Espada follow through for more kills? Tiny's chasing Weaver all the way down in the south. Oh, that Arcane Curse is going to tick him down, isn't it? Little by little. And that was the point you made earlier. 1 or 2 Shikuchis extra and you just die like that. ILTW, oh god, he's been chased into his own shrine. Yep, Silencer cancelled that TP.
He had no boots, that's why. Treant Protector had heal ready. I'm not sure if he used it there. But once they decide to go as 5, like Espada just did, I don't think Team Spirit can fight into that. They used Relocate, 1 more thick. Okay, that's gonna be more than enough to take him down.
I mean, that's a significant recovery from Team Spirit. The way that fight was going, it was a disaster for Team Spirit. And then Shadow Fiend IO get 2 kills off the tail end of it and then go back into Roshan. All things considered, it still feels like Team Spirit doing reasonably well. 7 seconds for your Lycan. Nyx in. FNG out. Shadow Amulet to try and... That's a Shadow Blade.
They can't kill this Roche. Global will be up. The mana on level 2 global. 450.
Painful. So now we get into the... We push mid-wave, you push mid-wave, back and forth between the 2 teams. Plague Wards up against Tiny's Wave Clear. But this Observer Ward sees absolutely everything that Team Spirit are doing. Sees the Veno, sees the IOSF.
I think they want to smoke right now. Yeah. They just smoked. Oh, Invis, does he want to pick it up?
We nearly have IO 15. So Aghanims on Shadow Fiend could be very, very close. But this high ground held by Espada going up the ramp to the south. Shadow Fiend, IO, Nyx, there we have it. The Purge will slow, and FNG, they've got the reveal from the Melee Necro Book. So FNG, with a good stun back, will buy a bit of time, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, Biver and 9, overgrowth up. They've got this nice Poison Nova out, but the IO being chain stunned and controlled, dead to rights. ILTW, not much left in the tank here with no shapeshift. Pops out some more wolves and Skitzer. He's got to skitter himself out of this one. Toss up, killed off by the Necro Book, which died on top of the Venom to his Poison Sting, I think. But another good route, and BZZ's found 9 with no IO here to save him up. It should be Shadow Fiend out of time. He's sprinting away very quickly with Drums and Manta. Speedy Devil with 434 move speed. The Wolves trying to track him all the way back, but the drums get popped yet again. Nyx, blink, 1 second. They don't have vision, and they can't find the SF.
Oh. He couldn't pass. He placed the wolf, so Weaver can't pass there because she already used Shikuchi. Very nice play. Just those little things. And Treant Protector is gonna have pipe really soon. So the damage mitigation will be really good. I really don't see Team Spirit winning these fights.
If that, it's literally if the IO can survive, then Team Spirit have a chance.
Every time Global is up, they will try to take a team fight.
Still can't believe that Roshan is still alive. Skitter moving in towards Hurricane Pike after that hood. FNG sees the Lycan. Quick shapeshift up. There we have the grab, the steal. It is that Vendetta from Aversion. Pops Invis to move forward. Sentry is there. Potentially can see Immersion moving forward. Team Spirit disengaging, looking for the solo pick off on Misha, but Silencer backs up to safety just far enough away from Spirit. And then we have to look at the lanes again. Bot lane pushing, top lane on the tier 1 across the river. And Roshan yet again open for both teams to battle over.
Look at this ward, Gary. We're gonna go to Roche. We don't want to get flanked from the sides.
We want to see where you are.
This ward is definitely not gonna get dewarded.
Very rarely. Plague wards trying to give that same vision to Team Spirit. But you pointed it out. That one observer ward spots them all moving forward. Bit of vision around the shrine. Do we have any smokes? Silencer is holding on to one. Lycan deciding that it's more worth his time to push out bottom and TP back to the fight if he's needed.
I'm glad that Lycan actually bought power threads. I've seen Lycan playing the hero without boots at all. And then when your shapeshift is down, they can easily just chase you.
Weaver already having used Shikuchi. Avalanche misses. Telekinesis back into the time lapse means that Weaver is going to successfully Shikuchi away. Should have been a kill there, it felt like. Just a little bit of a mistiming from Nyx's Tiny.
They're ready to fight. Train Protector, full pipe, level 15.
Radiant are scanning.
Radiant scan doesn't catch. Nyx, Shadowblade, toss, Avalanche onto 2, but feels like that was a bit of a cock-up as Shadowfiend and Io back behind their tier 2, not really under too much pressure. It feels like twice in a row now, Nyx a little bit overconfident with his skills. These game-changing kills really should have been going their way to get this Roshan in their hands. Skitter will scout out with some more Plague Wards.
I don't see any Radiant wards on the map besides this one. Okay, I'm just blind, Gary.
There's like 5 Dire Heroes on top of it. I don't blame you. Can't see it on the mini-map until now. Is that right? Courier, BKB Shadowfiend, yeah.
I don't know why they keep trying to go into Roche Pit. They can't kill it.
Maybe this time. Maybe this time.
Okay, so they're gonna have 2 BKBs. One is finished on a Shadowfiend. Second one, Weaver needs to use the Courier to bring the Mithril Hammer. What did he steal? That's
oh yes,
Plague Ward. Yeah, so
what we like to see. Meteor Hammer. Is that going to connect on SF? It does, ever so barely. 4 staff. Just to make sure that there is no tiny jump. Nyx hiding in the trees, ready and waiting. Tier 1 dies without really any contest here. Espada not feeling confident in their jump power, with a smoke from Team Spirit really giving a different story from the Radiant perspective, feeling very ready to make the jump here. Both teams drawing all sorts of lines to go again. FNG wants to go for the long wraparound, but Roshan is already scouted out by the Dire team. Lycan is inside the pit, and he's found FNG. Steal back over the carapace from Rubik with a jump and a lift. They'll get the Nyx. Now the BKBs with 9 and Hester Joe going in with the Requiem wound up with the Global. With the Overgrowth, it looks good. 9 still going to let it rip. Brings it back with the Axe upgrade from Bivra as well, but the damage is not good enough. Nyx chasing forward, finds the Weaver with the toss-up and the slam down, but the time-lapse will keep Hester Joe alive. Quick Shikuchi steal, but it's gonna be Hester Joe that takes down that Imogen Rubik, as Team Spirit are the ones inside the Roshan pit, with Espada scratching their heads, wondering what the hell they're meant to do now.
Shadowfiend can just stand the ground. They have no stuns, but they have enough damage with the minus armor from the Swarm and Shadowfin's passive. Nyx is in.
Okay, Io is dead, but Tiny in trouble. 9 with a dominating streak now, 4-1-4. 46 souls thanks to this wonderful Io Ags upgrade on the Shadow Fiend. Gets to... Now, the way this works, if I remember correctly, you get the souls, but you don't get the damage when Ags isn't there.
Alright, that makes more sense. Shadowfiend will be the one who's gonna pick up the Aegis. He already felt unkillable when Io is tethered to him.
It really has become an epic combo here, this Io plus SF. Espada, Lycan, starting to struggle now. All sorts of lines being drawn on the map. FNG, oh, it's not even FNG, is it? That's Skitter saying, hey guys, you know, top lane tier 2, bottom lane tier 1. There's free gold on the map for us to go and take. Let's get some objectives. Misha, scouted by the Radiant Obs Ward. Places his, unfortunately, it will get de-warded. With that Swarm going over and the dust on top, Misha, not long for this world. FNG, go on, steal that kill. Slap him down.
Going on a mission like that with no TP. Oh!
Blink from Immersion. Steals Shikuchi. FNG gets the carapace off, but the IO relocate in. They're looking for Nyx, and they've got the stuns. The damage from SF looks beautiful. This Tiny doesn't stand a chance in hell.
So they might take the top tower as well. Shadowfiend is there with Aegis, Manta style. Not sure if they can actually defend it.
Dire's top tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Team Spirit. Aegis Shadowfiend becoming a bit of a problem here for Espada.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
4 heroes converging on top lane as well. Are they thinking about... They're not just thinking about, they are doing about the higher ground push. Tier 3 going to get breached now. Weaver, Veno, SF, and Io all here. Bottom lane, Nyx will be the one defensive tool that...
Venomancer with Arcane Rune. He's gonna spam those snakes. Pipe of Insight ready as well.
And they're coming down to defend as well, throwing everything they have towards ILTW. Stun won't land. Tier 3 falls top as well as bot. They've got some good damage towards this Rax though, as the ranged barracks. Unhealable damage does drop to about a third of its HP, while top lane, yeah, they get a bit of chip damage on the ranged Rax there as well, but ooh, Radiant Courier dying, gets sniped out. FNG gets the double D ward in his jungle. That is super important. They saw this one get placed, and there it is. But getting this additional one by their shrine, very, very good.
Yeah, now Dire team has no wards on the map, if I see correctly.
I think you are correct. Immersion. Moving towards the Veno with the Shikuchi. Pops the raindrop. Quick telekinesis grab back. They do have a sentry here though. Rubik very deep in behind enemy lines. Successfully TP's home, while top lane, 9 and Biver.
They try to kill Invis Treant Protector with Shadowfiend ulti. It did not connect. Shadowfiend now has a butterfly. Oh man.
This Nyx assassin, like FNG on this Nyx. Position 5, double bracer, brown boots, windlace. Doesn't matter what items he's got. He is setting up kills. He is tanking ganks. He is running this game. Scan, make sure no one is sneakily coming up onto their shrine. Team Spirit in control. 8,000 net worth lead, 33 minutes in. Shadow Fiend right up at the top, like you said, with Butterfly done working on the Satanic next. 46 souls.
As time goes by, Team Spirit lineup will become way stronger. You have Lycan as your main carry, and then you have a Tiny. They also fall off in the late game.
And you have a Dust on Treant, meaning that he is absolutely screwed. The tips come out before he even dies. Final outer tower now for Spirit to grab. And another high ground push. We've got 30 seconds remaining on the Aegis here for 9, so push this advantage while you can. Swiftly up onto the ramp. And that tier 3 doesn't last long, does it? Open up the racks. 9 still with Manta and BKB. Good game is called. They just call it. They tap out. There is no chance. They can't kill the SF. They can't deal with the IO. They say, let's go game 3.
I like what they did. They don't want to lose any more time. They know the game is over. They just don't want to be bullied for the next 5 minutes. Just preventing the mental damage.
Who was it that said it would be a fast game?
Was it Silencer?
I think it was, yeah. Misha was.
Oh, he was not wrong though.
34 minutes, half the duration of that previous game, even less than half to be perfectly honest. But that is game 2 in the books. We'll take a short break as game 3 is coming up to decide who goes on to play against Alliance. It's down to the wire here between these two teams. We'll see you in a couple of minutes, guys.
Yeah, I do. I want to get in there.